Game. What a result for Leicester City. The goal from Tielemans, the disallowed VAR goal. Brendan Rodgers has shut my big mouth up. They stepped up in an FA Cup final. They made history. The first time in 52 years, 52 years, that Leicester City lift the most famous, the most beautiful trophy in world football. What a moment. What a game. What a goal. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Here we go! What a way to win an FA Cup final. Youri Tielemans with one of the best goals we have seen in a final since forever. It was absolutely spectacular. It truly, truly was. I thought it was a neutral. It was an amazing cup final. Drama at the death. Ben Chilwell scores what almost felt like an improbable goal. Ruled out for being offside. VAR rules it out. We, of course, want your views and your opinions on all the major incidents that took place during the game. Of course, controversy in the lead up to Youri Tielemans' goal as well. A supposed handball. It did hit the knee and it flicked up onto the hand of Jose Perez. But Leicester City win. That is a fact, as it remains their first FA Cup victory in 52 years. 52 years since they won this, 1969. And I have to say, Brendan Rodgers, I'm someone that's really and truly been hard on him as a manager, because I've always seen him as a great coach. His team's played brilliant football. But did he ever have the minerals to get his team over the line? And he did tonight. He did tonight. His team were excellent to a man. Chelsea didn't break them down. Chelsea normally create chances and miss them. Tonight, very, very little indeed. Very, very little indeed in relation to opportunities to score this evening. There were some absolute awful performances from Chelsea. Timo Werner, could be one of the last games he ever has in a Chelsea shirt. Absolutely rank average in his performance today. There's no doubts about that whatsoever. Mason Mount, I thought, was pretty invisible for the majority of the games. Good shot at the end. Well saved, of course, by very, very well saved at the end there, of course, by Schmeichel. I'm losing my mind with so much excitement going on. Chilwell, very good when he came on. Why was Alonso left on the pitch so long? I will never, ever know. Why he was allowed to stay there for so long? I'll never, ever know. But Chelsea today, overall, barring their midfield that I thought were very, very good, it was an average performance to a man. And Leicester, they grew into the game. They got better and better and better over the course of the 90 minutes. And most will say thoroughly deserved it. Of course, some controversial moments. Both went in favour of Leicester City. We are going to be talking about that in its entirety tonight. We're going to be speaking about why Tammy Abraham wasn't involved. He's at the end of his Chelsea career. Why did it take so long for Kai Havertz to come on? Why was Werner still on the pitch after 81 minutes? We're going to be talking to you all today. Share the link for you to come on and have your say. But first, the super chats. Because remember, this is my show, but your stream. Or your stream, my show. Your show, my stream. Either way, it's about you. I say it again, Terry Tuchel is overrated. They got bodied, is what's being said here. Saying they got bodied. Remember, we're going to be taking fan cams very, very soon on the terrace. I've missed some of these super chats, but I will read them all out. This one says, if I see a Chelsea fan chatting to me about 2012, I swear Champions League is ours, is what's been said. What's been said there. Maria Williams says, well done to Leicester City. This year they have been good and I feel deserve something from it. And they did deserve it today, no doubt. Monsieur Ahmed says, loving the layout, Terry. 1 down, 1 to go for Chelsea to win nothing. Deserved Leicester win. I've said it. CFC won't win anything. C here, big Chelsea fan, I think, says VAR is so inconsistent. Perez handball, no VAR used. But with Chilwell's goal, the lines are only lines up after the ball went up in the air. I better not see David defending this VAR crap. We had that one. The super chat from Artem, which we, again, couldn't get up on the screen. There's too many super chats that have come through. I can't cope. Too many comments coming through. The one from Artem says, and I quote, "No excuses, Terry. I don't believe in blaming VAR or refs. Beauty of football, all they needed is the one chance. Werner was in the same position as Tielemans 3 times and missed. Kasper Schmeichel, player of the game." And on that, if you can guess my man of the match this afternoon, you get your name into the prize. In fact, the person who guesses first my man of the match today, I will buy you a shirt of your choice if you can guess my man of the match. And everyone else who gets it right will go into the prize draw later on this month. Bean says Chelsea to bottle top 4 on both finals. Hashtag Tuchel out. Listen, there's a long way to go before anything like that can even be discussed. But they were poor today, Chelsea. And that's 2 games running now where they've, against Arsenal, they lacked the punch to put the balls in the back of the net. Today, it was a little different. Today, it was more, they lacked the ability to break Leicester down. Terry, Tuchel lineup. I feel this was on Ziyech and Kepa. I knew a long shot would have killed us. Don't ever start Ziyech over Pulisic again. Juan, are you blaming Kepa for that goal? A genuine question. Are Chelsea fans blaming Kepa for that goal? Really? I can't believe it. If they are, tell me why. I want to know why you're saying that, because I don't understand it. Day Gamer says, at this point, Leicester is a better team than Arsenal. Bro, I appreciate the super chat, but yes, they're a million light years in front of Arsenal right now. And they're FA Cup winners. Well done. Tielemans with fire emojis. What a goal. Just take a moment. I wish I could play the replays. I wish I could play replays on this. That goal, I made so much noise. My nan heard me. She died in 2007, right? I went mad because I love the FA Cup. I love the FA Cup final. What a moment for Tielemans. That is something that he can tell his great-grandchildren about. It will live on. 140 years of history, and that's one of the best goals ever in a final. It was the match winner. It was clutch. 52 years of hurt for Leicester in this tournament. That's historic. You know, we talk about status in football. We talk about legendary status within the game. For Tielemans and Leicester, he has done that. In British football, he has done that. That is how big it is, because he's done it in the oldest and most historic tournament known to man. 140 years, and it's one of the best you're ever going to see. JP here says, congratulations to Leicester, but this game was Tuchel's fault. Why didn't he start Pulisic, Chilwell and Havertz is beyond me. Did Tuchel put Tuesday's Premier League game above the final? Did he? Did he rotate because he feels that's more important? Maybe. It's a question rather than a statement. Fofana, man of the match, is what Malavia thinks. Tielemans is what Legacy has guessed. Chelsea fan here says, I'm not a Chelsea fan anymore. I support Man United. Jello with the super chat says, congratulations to Leicester City. They deserved it. Heartbroken, we couldn't win it, but that's how it goes in the beautiful game. Now on to the Champions League final. Ryan here says, Terry, we don't need to talk about this game because that's a handball leading up to the goal. Kepa last game in a Chelsea shirt. That wouldn't have beat Mendy, is what Ryan believes. Omar has said Mendy would have saved that. Tuchel got it wrong. James here says, forget league position. If Chelsea don't win any silverware this season, are they any better than Arsenal? Is what James Craig is asking. I'll let you, the viewers, answer that question in relation. That is a wild take. Keep guessing my man of the match. The first person that guesses who I'm giving man of the match to will win a Premier League shirt of their choice, and everyone else who gets it right is going to go into the prize draw. Over 3,000 people watching right now. on YouTube. Over 1,000 watching on Give Me Sport. Make sure you're all hitting that like button. I know you didn't win today, Chelsea fans, but support the platform that you come to. Support the Football Terrace in doing so. And my voice is pretty much already gone. Was it Kepa or Peter in goal? I don't know. Yeah, he was amazing. He was amazing today, Schmeichel. Chelsea to not win any trophies and lose top 4. Can anyone see that happening? Maybe. Let's do some more. There's so many comments coming through, so many super chats. Yeah, Terry, I honestly feel Mendy would have had that, not taking anything away from his shot. It was beautiful. Congrats to the Foxes. We need a striker. Well, the striker is the #1 priority at Chelsea. And maybe if you get another result like this in the Champions League final, that £150 million offer for Haaland may just be on its way, Chelsea fans. Stephen here says, people say nowadays that the FA Cup is done. Well, think again, people. This is what it's all about, and it's come back with a bang. Look at the disappointment of those Chelsea players. Look at the tears from Leicester City fans. Tell me, if you don't think this competition means anything, the game's dead to you. The game is dead to you. If you're pretending it don't mean nothing, you're lying to yourself, man. You're lying to yourself. Not a fan of either team, but glad that Chelsea fans are having a humbling experience. The delusion was getting too strong, is what's been said there. So many here. YUFC says Vardy is greater than Harry Kane in Premier League title winner and FA Cup winner. What has Kane won? Congrats to Leicester City and congrats to Brendan Rodgers. And let me just say again to Brendan Rodgers, let me just state this again to Brendan Rodgers. I apologize for ever calling you a bottle job. You have changed my mind today by winning one of the most historic competitions in the world as an underdog, and your team were the better side. And you were the better side. So well done. I will never call you a bottle job manager ever again. I'm not going to flip-flop like eye test and say these things. You've done it. Clutch moment there. You can't be a bottle job in a major final. Well done, Brendan Rodgers. Tuchel will not keep Mount in his team. This is the truth, is what Rowe believes. Pav here says, after all the praise we gave Chelsea lately, and now they bottle one final and about to bottle the top 4 and Champions League final 2, Kasper Schmeichel, man of the match. Keep guessing. As soon as somebody guesses right, well, actually, I won't say it to the end. Right, keep guessing because the other people are going to go into the draw. But you will win a Premier League shirt of your choice. Apart from Alonso and Kepa, our team selection was really strong. Don't blame Tuchel. Reece James made a stupid pass. Playing out of position. He's playing as a centre-back tonight, not a right-back. Whose fault is that? I'm asking you. If Mendy was in goal, Tielemans might not have shot. But the fact it was Kepa in goal, it was a no-brainer. A lot of Chelsea fans thinking that would have been saved, or maybe the shot wouldn't have even come if Mendy was in goal. We're going to start going to fan cams in a few moments. Stay with us. The panel will be here later. Fan cams are plenty. We're going to be here for a while, so stay with the Football Terrace. Get some popcorn. Put your feet up. We've got Slens backstage. We've got Cam. We've got Jem. We've got KJ, Prime, Igal, David, all ready and waiting. Not sure where Daniel is. Not sure where Anita is right now, but they should be on their way very, very soon. Monsieur says, Ciancho, man of the match. Smash the like button. And I am not going to be able to talk tomorrow. It's going to be gone. Man of the match, Vardy, is what Maria Williams thinks. Fofana is what Christopher believes. Keep the guessing coming for the man of the match. Right, let's get these fan cams going now, people. Let's get these fan cams going now. First up on the show, we are going to get man like Jem in the house to have his say. Jem, welcome back to the Football Terrace as ever. What do you want to say, buddy? Oh, I can't hear you. One sec. No, I can't hear you. Let me just check one thing. I don't have a G. Let me try someone else for a minute. David, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, mate. Listen, you lost 1-0 to Leicester. Give me your thoughts, mate.
At the start of the game, I always have this thing in the FA Cup where it's like, if we win it, it's cool, but it's not like the end of the world if we lose it. But when the game starts going, suddenly you get a bit more invested and you're like, we have to win this final. We have to win this final. Performance wasn't great. Alonso I wasn't a big fan of. I'm still not a fan of this whole he's a cup keeper, so he gets to start. I don't think that should be a thing. I think Mendy should have been in goal because as I again go back in the preview, literally my exact words were Tielemans will have a long shot and think because it's Kepa, why not? Like I literally said it in the preview and it happened, and I was like, you know what? If like fair enough. I'm happy for Leicester because it's a massive story. I'm happy. Like Vardy's had a great story coming from the absolute pits to coming up to the Premier League and so on. But I mean, when you look at Chelsea's performances, I mean, Werner was awful. Mount was god awful. Ziyech was awful. Aspi at right wing back is not the option. Reece James is not really an option. It was all round. They just didn't look up for it. And then obviously the subs came on. Those three players were our best players the whole game, apart from maybe Kante and Jorginho. Those three came on and actually did something and were like, we want a goal. Because everyone, when they're on the field, would like just want to receive it to feet. No one was playing the balls in behind. They came on. They wanted to go at people. And that's what we really needed to do. So there's that. And then when you look at the offside goal, I personally, I have nothing against the offside goal. That for me, I looked at it and thought he's offside. So I can see why it's been given as offside. But the Leicester goal, I'm not sure how it was given, because for me, the rule is, regardless of what happens before it, the rule is if the ball touches your arm in the lead up to a goal, it's a handball. That for me is quite clearly in the lead up for a handball. Whether maybe they've gone backwards, then they've said that's a new phase of play. That might be the reason for it. But I mean, yeah, but that's not the reason we lost today. We lost today because we didn't create good enough chances, and when we did create the chance, we were offside. Quite simple.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of today, team selections, is Tuchel responsible here for this?
To a degree, yes, but I still think the team that was put out was still good enough to win the game anyway. I don't even think he got his tactics too wrong. I really don't know much more. Like when you're talking about the chances that we conceded, we didn't really concede many chances as normal. It's another loss to an absolutely world-class strike from Tielemans. Absolutely out of this world. Like I can't be angry at losing like that. If you're going to lose a game, you lose like that. That's a fantastic goal, and I can't be angry about it. But at the same time, I can see him prioritizing playing on Tuesday, because obviously Leicester will have to rotate. They will. Johnny Evans got injured in the game. Castagna was struggling towards the end, so they will have to rotate. We kind of rotated today, so I mean, as long as we beat Leicester and we get top four, then suddenly this game doesn't seem as bad. But obviously, right now it still hurts because fresh.
I hear you on that, bro. Listen, man, we'll keep you backstage. We'll get you back on with the panel a bit later. Thank you very much, David, for having your say. Not that bothered, and thought Chilwell's goal should have been ruled off. Chelsea fans, what's your reaction to that? Next on the show, we're going to get Slens on to have his say. What are you saying, buddy?
Yeah, I'm not the same as David here. I'm completely devastated. It's a cup final. We don't go seasons without winning trophies, and if we don't win the Champions League, that's another trophy this season. And that's not what we do here at Chelsea. We win trophies. So, listen, I want to address the fan base here. I think people are looking for a scapegoat. They're looking for Jorginho, for Kepa. Stop it. It's so reactionary. It's honestly, it's these little fan bases that hold on to players and have hives and whatever. It's ridiculous, man. Honestly, it was a performance in the balance. It was a final, very tactical. One great shot by Tielemans changed the game. We didn't concede many chances. The same things we were praising this team for, what happened today, except for one great strike. And listen, coming to Tuchel as well, I'm seeing people on the timeline on Twitter turning on him. I'm like, you know what? If the Champions League final comes, listen, I know it's going to be a very difficult task, but if we do win it, I don't want to see you celebrating, because it took you one loss in a final to turn on the manager. So that's cool. Then I can see where your loyalties lie. But with me, listen, Tuchel, we praise them for rotation and getting the best out of the squad. Today, it didn't work out. Of course, you blame him. Listen, he was in the wrong today, but with the Reece James right centre back and then the Aspi playing right wing back. But you know what? It's just a loss you have to take. It's difficult to take right now. Obviously, the game just happened, so emotions are high. But it was very disappointing.
I hear that. In terms of key moments in the game, do you think Tielemans' goal should have stood?
Listen, the thing is, what annoys me about this is that rules are not clear. If they were clear, then I'll accept it. But from what I've heard is that if it hits the attacker's hand in any way, then it should be ruled off. But then it did hit his knee first. So I think to myself, does that make a change? That's the thing. I'm not clear about these things. But honestly, it shouldn't have gone down to VAR. We should have won the game anyways. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse. And the goal that went in for us, listen, I celebrated it. I was angry at VAR in that time. But it's part of the game. I'm not going to celebrate goals anymore until it's completely clarified. So listen, like it's heartbreaking. But yeah.
I hear you on that. In terms of it's 2 defeats on the bounce now, is it conceivable there could be a third on the way? Could you imagine there being a moment, you know, if you lose to Leicester, for instance, on Tuesday now, you really could see your season peter out. Do you expect that to happen? Or is this squad just too good now? You'll bounce back from these 2 bad defeats?
Terry, I've praised this manager and deservedly so. He's done some great work. I trust him, but before he got appointed, I was speaking about the players, and I don't fully trust some of them. And you know what? Like, listen, he's done as much as he can. I think we've showed up in big performances. This is a very important game. If we don't show up, then I'll start to worry about the final. But if we show up, then you know what? I'll put some hopes in.
Mate, I totally get that. I really do. Listen, Slens, thanks very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Top man. Thank you. Can hear that disappointment in his voice. You really can. We're going to get more calls in. If you're tuning in and want to come on, we're going to share the link very soon in the comment section for you to come on and have your say and tell us how you are feeling today. You can also leave your comments. You can super chat, but make sure you're hitting that like button. Just across all platforms right now, just under 7,000 people watching live, one of the biggest streams in the history of the Football Terrace. So make sure you're all subscribing as well. We cover all of the big 6 in the Premier League plus Arsenal when it comes to match reaction. So stay with us. Next up, having his say, we're going to go for a different flavor here. We're going to go to Igal. Igal's an Arsenal fan. What are you saying, Igal?
Yeah, I'm here in Birmingham with the fams, and I had to call in for this. First of all, commiserations to Chelsea fans. Congratulations to Leicester fans. What an absolute banger. Terry, that reminded me of Steven Gerrard winding it up against West Ham in the FA Cup, just banging it. Similar type goal from distance. You know what? For that moment, I just wanted to capture it. He recreated that goal. He literally recreated that goal. And I'm not comparing Steven Gerrard to guys, don't get your pennies in a bunch, Liverpool fans. You know what I mean. I'm just talking about the goal. Now, Chelsea fans, let's talk about Thomas Tuchel. He messed up today. You guys want to get on Timo Werner's back? It's not Timo Werner's fault. What did Hakim Ziyech do the whole entire game? Nothing. That's why he got subbed off. And you guys made rotations against Arsenal for this final. And you know what? You still played Kepa. You still played Jorginho. So what was the point of doing the whole rotations in the first place? Today, you got to call out your manager, just like everybody else calls out their manager. I'll be calling out my manager if he made this mistake. I'll be saying, you know what? Today he got it wrong. So everyone who comes on here, you have to have that same energy. He got it wrong. He should have played Mount and Conte in the midfield with Havertz and either Pulisic behind Werner. That's my opinion. That's how I would have went. I don't want to hear about Alonso or Chilwell, either one. It doesn't matter. They're both the same, in my opinion. On the right-hand side, I agree with Reece James. I felt like he made some tactical mistakes, and this is a tactical genius. Guess what? Terry, winning the FA Cup 6 months into the job is not for everyone. If they win the Champions League, you know what? I'll hold my hands up. But I don't think they're going to do that either. You know what? Man City are going to be playing you guys in the final. And if you can't play against Leicester, this team that I was watching today, first half, Terry, that was a terrible game of football first half. No shots on target, nothing, not even a goal, nothing. And if they try to do that against Man City, believe me, you guys are going to get a reality check in that final. I'm sorry. Today, what I witnessed, I looked at this team and I said, how is this team in a Champions League final? And when you guys lost based on losing because of an offside goal, unlucky, because you guys have been telling me all season, you know what? These things happen. These things happen.
I hear you on that. A couple of controversial moments in the game. Should Tielemans' goal have stood in relation to the handball?
I think Tielemans' goal should have stood. Yeah.
That's cool, bro. You think it should have stood? And how about the offside? There's a lot of Chelsea fans that I'm hearing say that the ball, the freeze frame that was used, the ball's already in the air, like it's already left the foot of Silva. It wasn't offside, and the goal should have stood. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
Listen, you guys always say football, VAR came in to get the things that we physically can't see with our eyes. If VAR wasn't here, you guys would say, you know what, that goal would have stood. Now that VAR is here, we cannot complain apparently, right? So I can't complain, you guys can't complain. That's how it goes. We have to keep the same energy. David comes on here. He kept the same energy. You know what? Respect to David for that as a Chelsea fan. But my main thing I want everyone to take away, I don't want to hear nobody talking about Werner in the opening minutes, missing any chances or anything like that. Today, you have to look at your manager. You have to look at Hakim Ziyech. You have to look at all these other guys who have been underperforming, because Timo Werner is the last person I want to hear anybody complaining about today.
Listen, thank you very much for coming on, Igal, and having your say. Strong words there from Igal. We shall open up the lines very, very soon for you to come on. Alpha here says, look at the difference in quality. Werner in the first half had a shot outside the box and skied it into row Z. Tielemans has the same chance and it's top bins. Yeah, listen, on Timo Werner, he had an absolute stinker of a performance today. It just summed up his season. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. There really, really isn't. Pavan here says, lol, I love seeing a gal happy, and the only joy he's going to get is seeing rivals lose. Rose says, Mount played 2 finals and we still lost. He needs to learn. It will take time. He needs to know how to play in a team. Needs to know how to play in a team is what's being said there. Another super chat that says, well done, Leicester. Totally didn't see this coming. Chelsea fans be very afraid. Listen, I said yesterday the game would be close. I said it would be cagey. I said it would be tight. I did worry whether complacency could creep into Chelsea. I feel like it did in the team selection. I feel like starting Alonso, not starting Pulisic, not starting Kai Havertz, I think it was a mistake. I think it was a genuine mistake from Tuchel. He's looking at Tuesday's game. The league is more important. We understand that. But they've missed out on silverware 2 years running because of that decision. Next up on the show, we're going to get man like Prime's on. We've got Daniel backstage, still KJ and Cameron to come as well. We are going to share the link very, very soon for you, the viewers, to come on and have your say as well. But Prime is here. What are you saying, buddy?
Hi. The performance today wasn't good enough from these players. The Tielemans goal, quality. Would Mendy say that probably, but that's probably by the by because it's the players that were playing at the end of the day. But he should have been closed down in the first place. It's quite sloppy. And after that goal, it was like things just fell apart. And because it was a final, they were all thinking about the occasion instead of just playing their game. I mean, we went well down against Man City, and they were still able to continue playing their game and make a comeback and even win the game. So I don't know why they couldn't just do it today. Alonso starting, I understand it because he is a big game player and he does tend to turn up when you need him to. Ziyech necessarily wasn't at his best. Werner missing chances. I get it. People are going to try and scapegoat him. But this is one of the things that I'm talking about. Chelsea fans, they're going to look for excuses to turn on this manager, turn on Tuchel. If we lose the Champions League and we finish 5th or we finish 6th, whatever, we don't make top 4, people are going to automatically turn on this guy. We shouldn't, because he's one of the best managers that's out there right now. And what he's got from this squad, from where we were when Lampard got sacked to now, to get to this point, to get to a Champions League final, to get into the contention of being in top 4, we didn't think we'd even get that. So I don't know. I just think we should genuinely back this guy. Don't turn on this guy. Don't try and scapegoat and be like, because the players that you don't like are playing, and try and use it as a reason. But from Leicester, they were brilliant today. First half was a bit meh, yes, but second half was phenomenal from them. Schmeichel coming up clutch with some big saves. Jamie Vardy putting in the runs and being a nuisance to our defense. Like, I don't think Tielemans per se had the best of games, but he got the goal and he came up clutch. Leicester, superb. Brendan Rodgers wins a trophy, so he's no longer this bottle job. People don't respect the Scottish Premier League, but he's won the FA Cup in England. So that's some credit you have to give to him, man. What he's building at Leicester.
Can I ask you a few questions, please? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Should their goal have stood? Was it handball? And secondly, do you think if Mendy's in goal, it gets saved?
The goal that you conceded.
The goal you conceded.
We conceded. Sorry.
Should it have been a goal because of the handball? And a lot of Chelsea fans have said to us on the show tonight that if Mendy was in goal, it wouldn't have gone in. What's your opinion on that?
I think it's a bit redundant whether Mendy or not would have saved it because Kepa's the one who started. Would Mendy have saved it? Maybe not. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But it's a wonderful strike. It's a wonderful strike from Tielemans, and we can't take that away from it. It was a brilliant strike.
And
but again, if Mendy does start, maybe Tielemans doesn't take a long shot because with Kepa, he's a bit suspect and he tends to go in. So I don't know.
And in terms of your goal, Ben Chilwell, offside, onside, was VAR correct or wrong? What's your opinion?
The VAR, it's tight, I guess, but the decision was correct. But that's not the reason why we couldn't come back into the game. When fans, I'm seeing people on Twitter saying, I don't want to use VAR as an excuse, but the offside decision, whatever, I don't care. That's not the reason why we couldn't come back into the game. Like, we can't use refereeing decisions or VAR decisions as excuses. I don't do that anyway. So with that, I don't really care.
Fair enough then, mate. Listen, you roll on to Tuesday. Massive game now against Leicester. Prime, we'll speak to you a little bit later on, mate. You take care, buddy. Thank you very, very much indeed. We've got Anita who's coming on next. We will share the link. I was actually not sharing the link until Anita was here because I didn't want it to get filled up. I'm going to share the link now in the live comment section. If you want to come on as a Chelsea fan, a Leicester fan, or a rival, if you want to speak about this game, we're going to share it on Give Me Sports page as well because we want to hear from you. Anita's here with us now. Disappointing result for our Chelsea boys today. How you feeling?
I'm all right. I mentally prepared myself for the abuse I'm about to get. So, yeah, it is what it is. But I'm okay. I'm just, I don't know. I'm disappointed, innit? Like, there's not much more I can say to it. I think wrong decisions from the start. I had a feeling Alonso was going to start. It was definitely wrong decision. 100% wrong decision. I don't know. I think Leicester played really well. They were better than us. 100%. They were better than us. I think we only started getting good when Tuchel made all of those changes, when we were 1-0 down already. And it was like, it's a bit too late, Like when he made those 4 changes, I was like, why? What's the point now? Like, what is the actual point? And then we scored the offside goal, gave me some hope just to knock me back down again. I'm drained because now I'm just like, okay, really and truly, the FA Cup was the one I thought that we could actually get. The Champions League one, boy, that one's gonna be a tough ask, and hopefully by then the league will be over. I think Tuchel was playing in mind that we've got to play them again on Tuesday, but by then the league will be over and let's see the decisions Tuchel makes. But today was awful, man. It was terrible.
No, I totally agree, and I think starting lineup was wrong. We know that. I didn't think Reece James had a bad game plan in the centre back role, but I felt like you needed that width today from him, that speed down the flanks. The only area that I thought was strong was central midfield. I thought that was pretty good.
The thing is, you look at the lineups, right? You look at both lineups. You look at how Leicester set up, right? And Tuchel didn't start doing this until the last 20 minutes. We're not going to beat them in midfield. We were never ever going to beat them in midfield. The spaces on the width that Leicester didn't have was where we capitalized towards the 20 minutes when Callum came on, when Havertz came on. That's where we capitalized a lot. Chilwell, when Chilwell came on, and I'm just so gobsmacked as to how Tuchel didn't see this. Because even me and my dad, we were just like, bro, if we keep playing through the middle, like, they're gonna eat us up every time. Like, I understand the through balls sometimes were great, and Z actually had a decent first half, and then it was like, it's not working. We're not gonna break through their midfield. So what's next? And he just took too long to make the changes. He took too long to make decisions, and yeah, man, it just is what it is. At the end of the day, we lost today against in my opinion, a better side. I think Leicester, they were more clinical. And it's so funny because Chelsea fans constantly say, well, some Chelsea fans say, we don't need a striker. This false 9 thing works. If we had a striker today, Werner wouldn't have been starting. It would have been the striker. And the striker, the chances Werner missed, would have scored that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I totally agree. But Werner, for me, was the biggest cow son today. He was the biggest problem for you. Like, his shooting was awful. His decision making was poor. He's basically a sprinter. He's like a pacemaker. He can run through the channels, but he does almost nothing else. He is so poor.
Even today, he was holding his runs. He kept holding his runs. Every time he'd get the ball, it's like it would take him 5 seconds to get into gear one. Like, it was weird. Like, why are you holding your run so much? You don't have... And this is the thing that I said at the beginning of the season with Werner and Havertz. They think they have more time on the ball than they do. You do not. Learn to adapt. Leicester did the same thing Arsenal did in midweek. They pressed the hell out of us that first. They were pressing us. Every time we had the ball, they were waiting for us to make a mistake. And big up us, because every time we made a mistake, our recovery was great, but it just wasn't enough. We can't keep having recovery. We can't keep having possession. I think Leicester only had 30% possession. We can't keep having possession and no end product. We need a striker, man. We need someone who can hold up the ball up front and bury it in the corner, because today it was just not a shot on target till the 50th minute. Like, what?
And that was a weak header from Alonso as well. I agree. The one good thing for Chelsea out of this is Roman acts. And I think maybe if they were sitting there going, oh, should we really spend 150 mil on someone like Haaland or 100 million on Kane, and they were umming and ahhing, if you get a similar result to this in that Champions League final where you just don't score, that's the reason you don't win, you'll go big in the summer. I suppose that's the only kind of silver lining to a result like this, is that checkbook may get opened, and you've got to go and get the quality, because just no one's up to it. Like, Tammy wasn't even on the bench today. I mean, would you say that's pretty much Tammy gone now?
Oh, I told you already what I know about Tammy already. That guy, he's gone. Like, he's been gone from the time he came back from injury, and he's been back from injury for how long now? He's been gone. But I feel like the chemistry in the team is what's going to hold us back, if I'm being honest with you. With that Champions League final, chemistry is so important for these teams. If we had that chemistry today, the chemistry that we saw in the last 20 minutes, if we had it for the whole 90, we would have won the match. But that chemistry is just lacking. I don't think these players are able, we can't find a way for these, not even the defense or like the midfield, it's the forwards. Like, there's just a lack of chemistry there, and it's just ridiculous. Like, Ziyech, we all know how Ziyech, he loves a through ball, he loves the long ball, he loves to whip balls, and there were so many balls that he will whip into the corner, or that he'll do a no-look pass expecting someone to be in front of him, and no one was there. Why? What's going on with the chemistry? I've always said that I think Ziyech and Callum, they play really well together. They understand each other. I would love to see them play together a bit more. People are saying Ziyech and Werner play well together. Well, today was your answer, because no, they do not. I think Mason Mount, he went quiet today. However, I think David came on here and said Mason Mount was awful today. I don't agree. I think for the last 20 minutes he was heading up the fight back. So yeah, man, I don't even know what else to say.
No, listen, I can hear that disappointment, and I won't drag it. I'm not just trying to drag things out for the sake of it. I want to hear what you got to say. We'll keep you backstage. We'll get you back on again with the guys soon. Speak to you in a bit, Neats. Thank you very, very much indeed. I know how hard it is when you have to come on when you face that kind of disappointment, especially after losing semi-finals and finals. Paul Ross here says, what I find strange is the camera only was on their fans. The commentators didn't hide their bias. Whatever you do, played bad. They got the review, but we never had one on the handball. VR knew what they was doing. People are accepting VAR. Sad. Paul Ross claiming practical conspiracies there. Does anybody else agree? We had some more super chats come through. A lot of them have gone past already. Samuel said, Queen knows what she's doing. Look at her, as in like heart eye emojis on that. Says, how can you possibly give her smoke? It's all right. Keep your chin up. Don't want you to win the Champions League, though. Sorry. It's a nice message there from Samuel. Paul Ross then says straight after that in the super chat, we are not winning the Champions League. Artem says, it's ridiculous to blame Kepa for that goal. Guyan says, please speak about your boy Ziyech. He was completely useless. Jamie says, for me, Chelsea want fourth more than this game. And I think that's a fair comment. The rotation did appear to favour Tuesday's game. But we've seen in the last few days, when you rotate for a particular game, you have to win that match. You have to win it. Dinesh here says, where's Dinesh's comment gone? It says, Kasper Schmeichel for man of the match. No one's guessed my man of the match yet. So keep your super chats coming in for my man of the match. We're almost on 1,000 likes on YouTube, by the way. Let's smash past that barrier. Almost on 300 on Facebook. Let's smash that one as well. Next on the show is going to be my guy, KJ. What you saying, buddy?
What a FA Cup final. Like, you know what, yeah? I was watching with my dad. We was having a good time, just watching, analysing. And you see what those pagans try to do? And I'm including Roman because he said yes to this. You see that ESL, that Super League, that would have deleted moments like this today. Moments like this today would have been gone. The fact that Leicester City, a club that everyone has not a bad word to say about, that you have to respect, the recruitment is wonderful, the way that the structure of the club is, the way that the ownership and the players have that connection. What club in football, in English football, do you see call down the owner to go celebrate with him? Not many. They have such a tight bond in that Leicester City club, and you got nothing but respect for them. I'm so happy for them. I really am. Jamie Vardy, one of the greatest footballing stories to have ever been told. He's been a part of every single stage of the FA Cup and has won it. He's been part of nearly every stage of English Pyramid football, and he's gone and won at the top. Amazing. Brendan Rodgers, respect to him. Fair play. Well done. You've come back to England. You're doing your thing, and you fought back after so many critics, fighting back, and now you've got your victory awards. Respect to that, and to the ownership of Leicester City. The way that their owner, I forgot his name unfortunately, but the way that the owner was looking to the sky, thinking of his dad, the mural to his dad on the seats. That is what football is about. That is what football is about, and I absolutely respect everything that Leicester City have done this tournament in the FA Cup, and they deserve the win, definitely.
Mate, I completely agree on the sentiment element and the story, what they have done. Because you've got to look at the fact that Leicester City have always been a huge club in Leicester. Of course, they have in that area. They're a big team in English football history. But the owners have come in and they run that club how we should all want our clubs to be run, pound for pound. They don't spend the money City spend or what Chelsea spend, but pound for pound, they are one of the best run clubs in world football. And I'm not jealous. I'm envious. I'm not bitter. I am in awe of how they operate, how they run, how they behave from top to bottom, from inside out as a football club. And of course, they had the tragedy getting towards 3 years ago where the owner, of course, passed away in a helicopter crash. And yeah, we were live when I saw the pictures of his son coming onto the pitch, and I was trying not to look because it was making me well up, because I sort of think, imagine how he feels right now. He's his father's baby, his father's project, his dream. Winning another major trophy in that FA Cup. And yeah, it was a beautiful thing to see. It really was. And on the Super League element, you're absolutely right. Days like today would be gone. And it's why I was so excited when it happened. I didn't want Chelsea to lose out of any bitterness. I always want the underdog to win in the FA Cup. That's the point. So to see it happen was an amazing moment. It truly was. In terms of the game itself, two big incidents. Do you think the referees and the VAR got them right? Or do you think there's some controversy there?
No, I love the fact that the Chelsea fans are getting their tinfoil hats out about this game's refereeing and that. It's wonderful. But no, the handball incident, it's not handball. He clearly goes to intercept it with his knee. He can't do nothing about it. He clips his knee, clips his hand. They get the ball back. I swear they pass it back. And then they start. I believe they start a new phase of play. And then Tielemans. What a strike! What a strike! I've got something to say about Tielemans today, Terry. I'll come back to that in a second. And in terms of the offside, VAR is VAR. Like Jose said, bread is bread, cheese is cheese. VAR is VAR. Offside is offside. You know what I mean? It is what it is. As soon as they paused it in that line, even me and my dad were like, he's off. He is off. Like, it was just that much, but I think we've gotten used to how they call offsides, you know what I mean, in the Premier League now and in the English football now. We're getting used to how they call offsides. You saw that little bit of doubt, and that's when you knew. And if anyone was going to get a VAR decision to go their way in that way, I wanted it to be Leicester today. It deserved to be Leicester today. Kasper Schmeichel saves unreal, world-class saves today, tournament-winning saves today, and VAR played the say what you want about it, but VAR did its job, called it offside, and then Leicester get the victory. Football gets its victory, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Chelsea fans, you guys tried, but unlucky. Like,
I hear you on that. Just to clarify, I know a lot of super chatters have said we didn't even get a check. Every goal that's scored in the English game, they check that there's no infringement in the build-up. Now, that doesn't mean they haven't missed something or overlooked it, but this notion that just because we don't see the replays on TV doesn't mean that VAR isn't checking them. It's the Premier League shows more of the replay than anyone. Like, what's the Champions League? They barely show replays, and it's a very, very long decision. So it was checked. They just didn't deem it to be handball. I agree with David that I thought that if it touched the hand, regardless in the build up to a goal, it had to be disallowed. But maybe that rule's been changed and we've kind of missed that in the ether, as it were. But
before you send me off, I just want to say one thing. If and when Paul Pogba leaves to go somewhere else for Manchester United, Youri Tielemans is one of the players we need to sign to replace him. There we go.
There we go. KJ's had his say there, top man. Thank you for coming on. Tahir says Chelsea's owner deserves everything he gets. He's busy funding and supporting illegal settlements in Palestine. Bad luck from now on is what Tahir has got to say on that. Let's go to a caller here. We're going to get Daniel on in a few moments. Before that, we're going to go to Mansour Ahmed. What are you saying, Mansour?
I've been saying it, Terry. I've just heard news that Finding Dory is getting a sequel, Finding Timo. I mean, that's what I heard. It's coming in the cinemas probably next year. But yeah, I've said it. One down, one to go. Chelsea didn't deserve to win this game. Leicester deserved it. The underdogs. Honestly, Terry, I was busy. I couldn't watch the game on TV, so I had to watch it from my phone because I was revising for an exam. But the FA Cup final, you can't just keep your eyes away from it. It's just a magical final. It's just a magical thing. And Youri Tielemans' goal, what a goal! I mean, Kepa, Mendy, get any goalkeeper in that, they ain't stopping that. That's top bins. That was top bins there. In terms of the build-up, listen, I wanted Leicester to score the goal, so I didn't really care about the handball. But if I put my head on, that should have been disallowed. Because I'll tell you a similar incident. That involves Liverpool against Tottenham. Firmino had handballed the ball, but after 5 passes, they then disallowed the goal because he handballed earlier on. So if anything, they should have been consistent. And offside's offside. I don't know what people saying. Oh, the ball is in the air. Blah 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 blah. That was clearly offside according to VAR. But yeah, Chelsea are not going to get top 4. They're not going to win the trophies, and this shows it, Terry, that they are scared in the Champions League final. To get 4th to confirm a Champions League, they are scared in the final in case they don't win. That's why they focused on the getting 4th instead of winning the FA Cup. But I'm sticking to my rules. They ain't going to win anything. They're not going to get top 4. And Thomas Tuchel, you're overrated.
Listen, Monster, thank you for calling up and having your say, mate. Top man. Daniel's now on with us. Chelsea fan, we all know Daniel, regular on the show. Welcome back, mate. Commiserations for the defeat today. Tell me what's on your mind, mate.
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Where do you even go, man? I mean, I think I was the only one who said it when we done. I think the preview it was. I was basically mentioning when Monster, Anita, and Jem were there. I said after the Arsenal loss, I think it was complacency, arrogance. The team hasn't won anything. Slow starts killing this team. Lack of clinical edge and whatnot. I said it. Like I actually said it. I said the reason why we will win the finals because I don't think Tuchel would allow another complacent performance because that was what I saw against Arsenal. And they've gone and done it again. Do you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this team deserves what they got. I disagree with everyone saying Leicester deserved it. I understand rival fans. Everyone wants the underdog to win, but they didn't deserve to win. Leicester were poor today. They weren't good. Vardy was snuffed out. Everyone who really played in their team wasn't great, apart from Tielemans and Fofana. They were excellent today. But they didn't deserve it. I mean, I think on the balance of play, when you think about the chances as well, we definitely should have won. Kasper Schmeichel made 2 big saves from Chilwell and Mason Mount. so they didn't deserve to win. But at the end of the day, we shot ourselves in the foot, man, because we only started to perform in the last 15 minutes. And at the end of the day, look, people want to blame Tuchel, but Tuchel puts out the team he thinks can win the final. Everyone agreed with the Reece James switching to handle the Vardy threat, which nullified him to a degree in the whole first half and the beginnings of the second half. I think people wanted to see the switch between him and Azpilicueta earlier on, but what it all comes back to and revolves back to is this team, this crop of Chelsea players. So the last span of Frank Lampard actually calling them guys. This new crop of Chelsea players haven't won anything. I mean, they won the Europa League, but this new age, Havertz, Werner, all these guys there, they haven't won anything, and they haven't shown anything for us to overrate them, to put them on the levels of some of the greats that play in the Premier League right now. To say that these guys are world class is an overstatement. Poor all round, and I'm disappointed. As a fan, we're allowed to be arrogant, we're allowed to say what we want to say, we're allowed to shade, but it's the players' responsibility because it's their profession. They're professional football players and they're expected to perform because of the high wages they're on, and just for their own pride and for their own sake. The fact that we didn't perform in another FA Cup final is just a shame, and it shows that this club's mentality, especially what I said, and I'll probably be writing on it again. I wrote the article where I said we can't come back from 1-0 down, and they just proved me right again. 2 games on the spin where we go 1-0 down. And was there any real belief that we were going to come back? I mean, yes, we celebrated the Ben Chilwell goal, but at the end of the day, we still didn't come back in that game, and we didn't look like coming back till the final 15 minutes. So, yeah, man, just not good enough all round.
Do you know what? Like, I mean, personally, I do think Leicester deserved to win. They were the underdogs in this game, and I didn't expect them to be the aggressors. They were just better, I felt, at all elements of the game today. They defended better than you. When they did attack, they were a little bit more clinical. They were a little bit more decisive than you. But still the biggest issue at Chelsea under Tuchel has been that either the creativity or that sort of killer pass and that edge. And there was moments in that first half, especially when Johnny Evans was on, and he was backing off when Werner was running at him. If you had deadly attackers on or the right people in possession at that time, I think it could have been a different story. Does that make you nervous going into this big game on Tuesday, followed by the Champions League final? Are you worried? It's 2 games running now. We've seen the problems at Chelsea stop you from getting the victories you need. Is there a fear that the season could unravel from potentially being amazing and great to being maybe underwhelming if these mistakes happen again?
Obviously, before I respond to that, the reason why I say they didn't deserve to win, I mean, you can make the argument that they defended better, but we didn't really need to defend. And no game plan is to score a screamer. The goal Tielemans scored was a great goal, but that's not part of the tactical thinking of Rodgers. We're going to score a screamer today and then defend for the last 20 minutes. But then again, you have to give it to them. They won the trophy, and congratulations to them. In terms of the question you asked, though, definitely, man, definitely. I've always been the skeptical, and I've always been a bit reserved about what we're doing as a team, because you see it in a way where what Chelsea were doing or what we were on course to do was in a way cheating the process. I've always said winning the Champions League and winning the FA Cup 6 months after new managers come in would have been cheating the process to a different level, where it would have almost been how the hell did this team do this? So definitely the season has potentials to unravel. So it's all about Tuchel's man management skills, experience as a coach, to almost rally the troops and be like, look, we've got a big game on Tuesday where we can actually get the top 4. And I feel like there are some fans out there who would say, if you ask them before the game, if you guarantee top 4 by beating Leicester and lose the FA Cup final, there are a lot of fans out there who will take that. So at the end of the day, we go on Tuesday and we have to go there and beat Leicester. But yeah, man, all in all, you just have to come back to the fact that the mentality, man, wasn't great from the get-go. The only reservations I have about the game where it was an intangible was the fact that I don't understand the handball rule anymore then, because it was handball. It clearly touched his hand, and that initiated the play. So it's not like it was a handball and then it deflected off and then maybe there were a couple tackles and then it went to Tielemans. The handball led to it falling to Tielemans. So I thought it would be given as or a no goal cancelled out. So they must have changed the handball rule. That's why we lack clarity as fans. I even think the pundits lack the clarity because they kind of skirted over it because they said VAR would overturn it, but then it didn't get overturned. So it was a bit confusing there. But I mean, they must have changed it and we don't know, because that was clearly handball and it initiated the goal, innit? So
yeah, I when I first saw it, I just thought, that could be disallowed. It touched his hand, and then there was no real talk about it. And as you say, the fact that the commentators and the pundits skirted over.
They literally said it's going to get turned over.
I was watching the BBC. I wasn't listening to BT Sports. So the BBC don't have an ex-pro ref they go to. So maybe on BT Sports they did. I don't know if anybody was watching, but I kind of heard that in the commentary. It was almost, it got skirted over because nobody was too sure what was going on. Mate, listen, I appreciate you coming on. We'll get you back on really soon with everybody else. Top man. Dinesh here with the super chat says the FA Cup is magic. Sorry, FA Cup is magic. When Wimbledon beat Liverpool in 1988, remember that game. Just need to bring back 3 p.m. starts and team song. I do miss teams. They said them at halftime on the BBC football songs. Canadian Cam is here with us now. What are you saying, mate?
Just gonna enjoy this a little bit because who knows, I may not be able to enjoy it in a few days or later on. They might actually beat City, but let's be honest. I think they didn't want to win the game. I think Tuchel is looking at top 4. I think it's another manager that's looking more at the top 4 than he was looking at winning an FA Cup final because some of those changes didn't make sense. Timo Werner's, he's not good enough for Chelsea. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. He's not good. Like maybe on the wing, maybe when they get a striker, but he should never be playing up front. He's just it's terrible. Let's talk about Leicester because they were great, in my opinion. Brendan Rodgers, I have the exact same apology. I used to say the same thing as you, Terry. I was like, this guy just can't win. It's like, I don't care. He gets there, he just can't win. But he set the team up properly. The 2 up front kind of countered what Chelsea was going to do. He allowed Anita to drop in the midfield, making it very compact. So what Anita said was right. The only chance they had was to go on the wings, and they didn't play that way. They tried to play through the middle, and there's too many men in the middle, too many good players in the middle too. Like I've said it before, Leicester's midfield is one of the best in the league. So they set up properly. They created some chances. Let's be honest. They created some, not great ones, but some chances. The Sionsu header. Vardy normally, when that cross comes, is on the right side of the player. So normally that's a better chance of goal. Reece James had a good block. They were the better team in that sense. The way they were set up, the way they approached the game, they were never going to be the aggressors. Never. That was not how they were going to play this game. So the way Tuchel set up, in my opinion, was wrong. I'm still confused about Chilwell not playing. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I get you have a formation, but maybe switch to a back 4. Allow your players to play wide, spread wide a bit better. Maybe play Giroud up front. A lot of things you could do. They could have done differently in that game, in my opinion, or play Kai Havertz at a false 9 since everybody's talking about how good he is, right? Like, and how good he is in that position. Maybe play him there. Why not? He's been playing better. I will say that. Listen, I'm a hater, but I can admit when a player has turned it around. And Kai Havertz has looked good recently. So why not play him in a false 9 position? Again, my opinion is he's really trying to stay in the top 4. And I think he put this lineup up. It was arrogant in my sense. They looked down on Leicester. He believed the players that he put out today were going to be good enough. He thought that his system was going to be good enough, and it wasn't. Brendan Rodgers found him out today, and it's credit to Leicester, credit to Brendan Rodgers. And I mean, I'm just happy to see all the Chelsea fans humbled. All these people. 2 weeks ago, Terry, Chelsea had won the FA Cup. Chelsea had won the Champions League. Chelsea was in top 4. Just like Danny said, he had said it, that they skipped the process. These things were said before this actually happened. So it's like, it's great to see them all humbled today.
Listen, I understand that. I think it's fun watching Chelsea lose, but beware the awakening of a sleeping giant, especially when it comes to that transfer window. And if they miss out on top 4 and or they lose that final, they'll spend even more money, which could be damaging to people like us as Man United fans. Where they start looking at the Sanchos of this world, they start looking at other players. They go, listen, Man United have bid 40 for Varane. Listen, there's 55. Just get it done. We want him at the club. That would be my fear in relation to that, mate. In terms of moving forward with Chelsea, do you think they're going to bounce back from this? Do you think they'll make the top 4, win the Champions League final? What's your thoughts on that?
I think they'll make top 4, as much as I don't want them to. I do think they'll go and beat Leicester now. I think Tuchel, listen, I don't think Tuchel's a bad manager. I actually think Tuchel's probably one of the best managers in the league. He's a better, not manager. I think he's a good coach. I think his management is actually a bit questionable because we've seen him fall out with players. We see that he keeps the same systems and such like that. And to be a great manager, you have to be really flexible. But I think he's a great coach. So I think he will watch this game back, see what he needs to do, and beat Leicester on the return leg. I don't think they'll beat City. I never did. So I'm not going to go back on that. I don't think they have any chance of beating City. I truly believe they kicked a hornet's nest, shouldn't have won that game. And now Pep's going to do exactly what I'm saying Tuchel's going to do. So I do think they'll turn it around. They'll make top 4. And yes, they are a threat. They're always going to be a threat in the transfer market. Like we know their owner's going to spend the money. It's done every year in, year out. They spend money, right? And I think a symptom of the way they're ran, though, is why we're seeing some of their fans say Tuchel out. They accept that. They want their managers gone if they don't. Like, that's what they want. So it's like when people are like, oh, now it's Tuchel out, I'm not surprised. Like, they celebrate when their managers get fired and they bring somebody else in half the time. So why are we surprised now? But they will, to answer your question, they'll probably turn it around, at least finish top 4, but no trophies.
I hear you on that, mate. Listen, thank you for coming on, having your say, Cam. Top man. Speak to you soon, brother. All the best. We're going to get the panel on now, ladies and gentlemen, for you. Before that, but Paul here says, but how many times is VAR given to the defenders and fans want goals? Ask every fan from every club. Denied. VAR has been abused to the fullest at every club in stupid ways. Fingers, toenails, and I think it means pubes offside. Come on. Offside. Congrats to Leicester, though. I hear you, Paul, and I understand why you're frustrated. We're going to get the panel on now to come and have their say. David's here. Anita's still with us. Elite KJ, and, of course, Daniel's here as well. Before we go forward, I know Chelsea fans are in a good mood. Are you liking the new colour scheme and overlays?
It looks nice. It actually looks really nice.
Looks good.
It's just a shame it happened today, isn't it, fam?
Looks proper, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. Moving on up. Wait till I'm revealing this live on here. Wait till the viewers see the brand new live action studio that we're going to have. Oh, sorry for revealing that. Anyway, the game. I get the disappointment. I get the frustration. And it ain't about rubbing salt in, because I hate that when I've got to do these shows and people do that. Some of the points that keep coming up, though. VAR, the first one. I mean, is anybody here on the panel looking at VAR and saying that is a big reason we didn't win today? Does anybody agree with that notion based on Paul's super chats and many others that have come out?
No, it's
not a big reason, but definitely a contributing factor.
And KJ, come on, man. I mean, I know you obviously, fair enough, rival friend is supporting support Leicester, but you can't say that that's a new phase in play.
Listen.
Wait, one sec. The Perez handball, like after it hit his hand, it went to Tielemans. So it's not a new phase in play. It's literally a direct.
Cool. But either way, this whole season I've been defending players when the ball hits off their body parts and then hits off their hand. I'm being consistent with the fact that I don't think that's handball, because what more can you do?
Yeah, but again,
what are they supposed to do? Have no.
I understand your opinion. But the FA rule is accidental handball by an attacking player is only penalised if it occurs before a goal or a clear goal scoring opportunity. That for me, I've been VAR's biggest defender, but for me, like, if they'd gone backwards, I'd have been like, new phase of play. They literally, it hits his hand, it goes to them, and then they pass it to Tielemans, and then he scores the worldie. For me, that is a cast iron. Like, that's what VAR's there to do. But again, I understand the whole. It's not the reason we lost. But you've got to look at that and feel a bit hard done by. The offside is offside.
If that is the rule and they've gone against it, then fair enough. But I think they needed to. That rule needs to get changed anyway. And hopefully,
I agree with the whole Perez. Perez doesn't mean to do. Obviously, he's clearly gone to block the ball with his leg, and it's just bounced up. But when those are the rules, you've got to stick by the rules, whether you think it's handball or not. So. Yeah.
The thing is, there's people tweeting about the offside, talking about centimeter precision and all of that, bro. Like, I'm like, even if to a millimeter, it's not offside. We've seen these given, so we can't, like, on the day now say because it's Chelsea, it's da-di-da-di-da. It's something that VAR has to, or the people above have to go and deal with when it comes to VAR, where you have to maybe factor in the millimeters and say that that's onside because you can't get a real precision and all of that. But look, I'm tired of even talking about VAR. Let's talk about the players who couldn't really come back and really be clinical.
That brings us on to one of them. I really want to speak about Timo Werner, because
he's ours.
He's not ours.
Go on, David. Go on.
No, I'm sorry. No, this again. We do not play to his advantages. We know. No. I'm sorry. No, everyone here agrees. Everyone here agrees that Timo Werner is an extremely limited striker. All right, but he's the best one we've got as of right now. So why are we not playing to his advantages? The amount of times he plays like he is making a run in behind, and our players just sit on the ball and then hold it, and then the opportunity for him is gone, and then you expect him to play football. I understand he's not the best footballer in the world, but right now he's absolutely essential because Giroud and Tammy aren't good enough. And he's literally the amount of times Mason Mount, Hakim Ziyech, even Kante, he will be making a simple run, and he's just like, give me the ball there because that's what I'm the best at doing. And they don't give it to him at all. I understand if he misses, then you have a go at him. But today they didn't even give him a sniff.
But David, he's shown us that he's not a striker in the traditional sense of a lone striker in the middle. He plays more like an inside forward or a second striker, and that's the issue. You guys don't play with a second striker, and you don't play with goal scoring inside forwards. So his strengths will not get played to.
No, I understand that because sorry, Anita, I said that I wanted Havertz to start this game, even though Ziyech has been the big game. But I thought Havertz should have started, and he was one of the best players when he came on the field. But even though he's not like a lone striker, there were times today when I see him making a run, and I'm just like, please give him the ball. There are so many times. Go back and watch the game. The amount of times he's running in behind the defender, and they're just not giving it to him. And
David,
that's his bread and butter.
I think though. Go on, Anita. Sorry. Go on.
Personally, David, I don't know what you watched today. If I'm being honest with you, there were several times that Werner made a run. Werner was even offside a couple of times because his runs are, he's not timing his run properly, which has been a reoccurring pattern for months now. How do you expect the likes of Ziyech, the likes of Mount, the likes of Kante, the likes of Jorginho to be playing him in when 9 times out of 10 he's going to be offside? There were several times where Werner had space. Instead of him running into the space, he'd run into the opposing player. There were several times that happened today. There were times where he had space and time. He tilted the shot, didn't even go on target. So
no, again, with the long.
How do you explain that?
No, but again, with the long shots, right? Everyone's like, well, we gave it to Werner and he missed, and Tielemans scored his long shot. You are aware one of Tielemans' biggest specialities.
I'm not comparing. I'm
saying for the fans who sit there and go, well, Tielemans scored his long range strike. He's that literally one that's a speciality. And two, like it will only happen once every 10 times. But again, we all know he's a limited footballer. I am agreeing with you. In fact, he's limited.
Why do we have a limited footballer? That's
because we have no other option. Would you rather have Tammy Abraham out there? You want Tammy Abraham doing that? You want Tammy Abraham doing that?
The thing is, guys, really and truly, the thing is, right? Today, Tammy Abraham was left out of the squad completely point blank, right? In my opinion, leaving him out of the squad was a bad idea. I think Timo Werner has shown the same patterns over and over and over again, and he's not delivered over and over and over again. What is the harm in playing Tammy Abraham, our top goal scorer of the season? What's the harm?
He clearly doesn't suit what Tuchel's trying to do, and I personally don't think Tammy would have done much for you guys in the final anyway.
Can I quickly add to that?
A Tammy sub would have helped.
No, Anita, I just think you have to remember, look, Tammy's missed the squad before. It's just because it's an FA Cup final that people are trying to make a big deal of it. Like, he's missed a lot of previous Tuchel squads, so it's not a big thing, and we've won a lot of those games as well.
It's not a big thing. It is a big thing.
I don't think it is a big thing because it's proven that Tammy Abraham isn't the guy for Tuchel. Tuchel's made it clear through his selections and the fact that he's left him out in a number of squads that he isn't the guy for him. That's why he went with Giroud.
Does anyone know why he's not the guy for him? Can anyone probably explain, like, tactically?
He doesn't believe that Tammy. Look, I don't even care about the point I wanted to go to. The main point I wanted to go to just quickly is the Werner situation. Look, I understand Werner. I understand.
I'll come back to that in a sec.
I understand Werner's got double-digit goals, double-digit assists. He has provided or great assists in clutch moments for sure. But the point comes back to the fact that when there was a moment to capitalize in that game, and that's where clinical edge comes into it, Werner did have the space and the freedom of the pitch, especially when Johnny Evans was on. Johnny Evans was on for about 25 to 30 minutes, and we had a lot of space in behind their midfield and defense. And Ziyech and Werner were a bit timid in terms of their approach into the box, and that was a huge problem for us when we were going forward and trying to score goals. I'm just annoyed at the fact that, look, at the end of the day, we know what Werner is, and you were all saying he's a limited striker, he's this and that. How many times are we going to keep saying, make excuses for this guy? We need to play. Bro, he's a football player, professional football player, a striker, an attacker for our team, and he was terrible today. He was very, very poor and ineffectual. And
he was poor, but again...
David, sorry to interject for a second. My view of it is this. Your point that he was making runs and nobody was passing to him. They're not passing to him because they don't have any confidence in him, in my opinion. I think they look at it and it's a last chance saloon. The last thing they want to do is give the ball to Timo Werner because he's hoodwinked us all. We all watched him play in Germany to different degrees. I didn't watch as much as you, but especially was watching at the back end of last season when it returned. And I just thought, wow, what a striker. I've watched his training videos when he joined Chelsea, and I'm not even bantering here. And I just thought, deadly. But he, for me, is one of those, when it comes to the Prem and it comes to this level of football, he's come here. He looks like a rabbit in the headlights. He's technically not very good on the ball. He hasn't got a great shot. He's basically an average sprinter. He's a sprinter with football boots on. And I don't even mean that in a horrible way. There's nothing, for me.
And David,
I'm saying this generally. You either start with a false nine in that Champions League final or you start with Olivier Giroud. You start with Werner or you start with Tammy, which I can't see happening. You will not win. It's got to be Giroud or the false nine. Either you got no chance, in my opinion.
There is David. There's nothing wrong with Timo Werner just not being suited to the Premier League, and that's what it just looks like. It does not suit to English football. Maybe in Italy on the Conte system where they play, trying to get in behind. Maybe back in Germany where they play a hard line, he can cut in, make that runs in behind. It might suit him, but England just doesn't suit him. And I'm telling Abraham, he won't play in the Champions League. I personally think that Tuchel doesn't think he's the guy for, maybe because of the way that he holds the ball up. He's not very good at it. Is his touch really that good? Is his finishing really that good? There's so many things that I don't think Tuchel sees in Tammy Abraham. That's the reason why he leaves him out. And also, again, the whole thing of what we're seeing in training, is Tammy Abraham there trying to get back into the team, or is he just saying, you know what, yeah, you don't like me, I don't like you, bun this, I'm gonna go, I'm leaving anyway, so screw it, let me just put in effort. I don't know. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying there's not even. I think those could be.
Were you even confident on those edge of the boxes where he was driving in, and there was times where there was openness to shoot? Yeah, but that's a problem. That's a problem.
This is my problem. My thing is with Timo, right? Is that because of the lineup we went with, he is the only option. I would have put. I said in the thing. In the preview, I said I want, even though Ziyech is big game, I want Mount, I want Havertz, and I want Ziyech. Because when Timo is playing as like him, like he's the only actual striker, that's when he has his worst games. Because that is not him. And I agree with you 100% there. But today,
just as a final point on Werner, I'm sorry. Look, we have to admit now that he is nothing more than, in my opinion, a squad player at best. You can't have a £50 million striker who only performs when we face high lines or when the line is high and it's good enough. When we only play high lines and it's when he can be one-on-one with a defender and it's all about the pace.
One-on-one with defender is one-on-one with defender is awful.
He was even
one-on-one with defender. Bro, it doesn't make sense.
Do you know what it is, right? The reason why Timo is such a talking point right now is because we're at the end of the season and nothing has changed. He cannot
exactly what I said. I said it. Big moments.
Now at the end of the season, we cannot keep defending him.
Thank you. The big moments.
Oh, but this. Oh, but that. Oh, but this. Do you know what I mean?
It's at the end of the season now.
Literally, we've had big moments. Let's assess the season properly. Yes. Double-digit assists, yes, double-digit goals. We bought him to be our top goal scorer. He's not even that at the moment. He's missing big chances, big chances. And as a forward, as our striker, for him not to be able to have great hold-up play, for him not to be able to do the one-on-ones and us be confident in him, for him not to be able to take those long shots and us be comfortable with him taking those long shots, it's a problem. It's a serious problem. And Chelsea, we've had problems with strikers before. It shouldn't be any different with Timo Werner. And the thing is, he works so hard, and I appreciate how hard he works on the pitch because he never puts his head down. He'll keep working. However, if I work so hard in my job, but I am not delivering to my clients, I am getting fired. And that's just how reality, that's what reality is. It's unfortunate. And that's what he did today.
Absolutely.
However, like
on that point, David, just to round this off, this coming summer, Anita, as you feel right now, would you sell him if you can replace him with a better striker, or would you give him one more year?
If I have to sell him to get a better striker, I wouldn't even blink twice. You know, like I will sell him in a heartbeat. If we can keep him and get a better striker, I wouldn't mind that either. I think he is quite important when we do play against high line teams. Like I think he would be quite important to get him behind the fences and stuff. However, if we have to sell him to get a better striker, I'm all for it. If we have to sell him to get him, I will pack his bags myself, carry him to the airport myself.
I said this about Dan James. If you're a player for Manchester United, but in Chelsea in the systems, and you're only good for specific kind of games in specific times of the season, and that's all you're good for, then I'm sorry, you're not good enough to be playing for that club.
Yeah.
I agree completely. Viewers, you want your opinions on Timo Werner. We're going to go some more calls now. We're going to add some people into the stream one by one. First up, we're going to go to Little Tom Little.
No need, Teddy. No need.
What are you saying, bro? What's in your mind?
Tielemans is a decent player, isn't he? What a goal. But the best part about that was hearing the fans. My God. I tried to kid myself while we've not had fans in stadiums. It's not too bad. Jesus Christ, hearing them celebrations today. I don't want to watch another behind closed doors football game ever again. It can never match the atmosphere of that. But on the game, especially on Timo Werner, he's not a striker. He's not suited physically to be a striker in this division. This isn't like Germany, where defenders will walk next to you and give you all the time. They like to get up close and personal, and he's not strong enough, and he's not good enough at dribbling to get away. You can see he's a good winger because he gets assists, and when it comes to him, he can get goals if the situation's right. But he's not suited to be a striker. So I don't get why in the biggest game of the season so far, a cup final, he hasn't went for Havertz, who's been, in my eyes, their best striker this season. And he's not even a striker, but he's better suited than the £50 million one. And Leicester's defence, I thought Fofana, Soyuncu, and Schmeichel especially, that they were all exceptional today. You know, a lot of people went into this game expecting Chelsea to really dominate on the attacking front with the pace, with the creativity, especially from Ziyech and Mount. But that Leicester defence today was brilliant. Kept all three of them quiet.
No doubt about that at all. Listen, Tom, thanks for calling in and having your stay, mate. Top man. Thank you. We'll do some quick fire. Go on, Nick.
Can we actually talk about how good Fofana was today? Like, he was absolutely exceptional. Like, even from like a Chelsea perspective, in my head, I was like, let's get this dude off the pitch, bro. Like, he saved Leicester today. If I'm being honest with you, that guy, he deserved man of the match, in my opinion. I'm not saying that's Terry's man of the match, guys, but I'm just saying if it's not Terry, I'm gonna be looking at you funny.
No, Fofana was class.
For me, it was Schmeichel though.
Like
even when we did eventually break through, he was there. Like that Chilwell header is going in. Like it's coming off going in.
And David, you know what? I think the biggest thing for me as well is that people are blaming Kepa for the goal. I don't blame Kepa for the goal, but I just think that Kasper Schmeichel, when it came to the big moment, was there to save them. And when we needed our number one keeper to save us, we didn't have that opportunity because he wasn't on the pitch. That's the reason why Mendy is our number one. Because Tielemans' chance was the only big chance of Like the only big chance in that second half, and our number one keeper didn't have the opportunity to save that.
People can call me mad, yeah. And Cameron in the chat was calling me crazy, yeah. Call me mad. Mendy saves that. Call me mad.
I don't even think it's Mendy saving it. I just
It's
don't
not
think he's
Kepa's
taking the shot.
fault.
He's
It's
not
not
taking the
Kepa's
shot.
fault.
No.
We're not saying it's
No, I'm not saying
it's
it's
Kepa's
no,
fault.
I'm not saying Kepa did anything wrong. I'm not saying Kepa did anything wrong. All I'm saying is that kind of ball going at that height, all you need is a few inches.
But Anita, you also
potentially
you can also say the shot from that distance, our goalkeeper's really expecting it to go like that. So he might have been wrong for he might be wrong for it anyway. Like I don't think it's that clear cut. I don't think it's that clear cut of if he's in, boom, he just takes it. Like, no, I know it's in your opinion. I just don't agree with it.
I think this Tuchel whole like goodwill thing, it ends today. This good thing of let's get the players in. It has to stop now. Because Lampard, again, I'm not blaming Lampard, but obviously Lampard alienated a lot of these players. So when he first came in, he was using all these players, rotating them in and out. I think today is the day where that kind of has to stop because we've got a Champions League final. Well, I can't be having rotations with Marcos Alonso and that.
It's almost as if managers need to be ruthless and make decisions that they want to, and not listen to fans being sentimental.
Yeah. Exactly.
Terry, does that sound familiar?
The reason why I'm not going to go all like, he made the wrong decisions. At the same time, look, the rotation element of things, the team that was put out today should have won. I don't care what anyone says. Like, fair enough, yes, it wasn't the best, the most ideal starting lineup, but we had the chances in that first half. Johnny Evans was playing hampered. We had the spaces in behind about 3 occasions. We had about 6 corners in the first half, which weren't attacked great. If Werner doesn't clip that header, Aspi has a free header at the back post. We had a number of chances to win that game. Simple as.
Do you think that Tuchel can take any credibility for this L today? Like, if there's anything that Tuchel can take from it, what is it? Like, in your opinion,
think Tuchel's learning what players are going to be playing next season.
Stop playing the old man, the old men on the wings, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Aspi at right wing back will be the definite.
I look at that. Aspi at right wing back is one of them.
Needs to stop. That needs to stop.
This whole cup goalkeeper thing, right? What I find embarrassing about it is I get it when you do it in the earlier rounds, but once you get to those semis and those finals, you play your strongest players because you want to win. I think he's got to learn from that. And the last bit he's got to learn from is Timo Werner isn't a striker. And as you mentioned, that Aspi would have scored if he hadn't have got his head to it. Now, I know it's in the moment. You can see Aspi call for it, and Werner still got his head to it. And Werner isn't concentrating properly because he's over trying, because he's desperate.
He's never going to score anyway.
Yo, I wanted to talk about over trying. Mason Mount. One thing I've noticed about Mason Mount.
Chill, man. Please, man. Just chill.
The one thing I've noticed about Mason Mount, and this is not me trying to stand him and say he's a terrible footballer. No, he's proved me wrong a lot this season, and he's a very good footballer. But in a lot of moments, he gets very overexcited. And you can kind of see it in his play. Like you can tell he gets like, yes, now here's the time for me to do something. Let's go. And he ends up overhitting a cross, overhitting a pass, maybe taking on one guy too many. And my thing with Mason Mount is like, if he just relaxes a bit, because he's a talented player, just needs to chill, relax. And I remember one time he beat a man with some skill on the left-hand side, I think. Beat a man with some skill and put a cross in, and it was terrible. This went over everyone. And I'm just looking at him, I was like, Mount, this is where you just need to chill, relax, and take your time.
He had a poor game today. I mean, statistically, he was playing in one of the sort of 10 roles, didn't create a chance in the whole game. It was because of that, his movement was good. He got into the spaces. It was his execution on the ball. And I think that's where Chelsea really fell short today as well, is even their better performing players this season just weren't quite good enough in those sort of decisive moments. Just changing the subject really quickly, though. Daniel Ek has tweeted, and he has said that inaccurate reports emerged today saying, I have not made a bid for Arsenal Football Club. I think it's important to correct the record. This week, an offer was made to Kroenke and their bankers that included it included fan ownership and representation at the board and a golden share of for the supporters. They reply that they don't need the money. I respect their decision, but remain interested and available should the situation change. And as I said to Arsenal fans the other day, unless you offer well over the valuation, which Daniel Ek cannot afford to do without borrowing money, thus labouring you with debt, he was never rich enough to buy this club. Never.
Yeah,
you need to be sorry, mate. You need to be what the club's worth 2.5. So to get it off the Cronkies now, you've got to bid 4 or 5. The only people that can afford 4 or 5 bill for a product that's worth 2 is someone that's got 10, 20 bill in the bank. And it's just the only way it's plausible. So that's over and done with now. You're not.
That says to me, I have given up for now. That's what that says. Like, there's no point in me trying.
The thing is, like, Terry, you're so right. Like, when I heard that he was interested and he was gonna make a bid, I said that bid's gonna have to cost double what Arsenal cost for them to leave Arsenal. That is gonna have to cost double, and it's not gonna happen. The only person who can buy Arsenal now is flipping Bill Gates, one, and Dangote. Those are the only 2 people that
Dangote.
It's true. I feel a bit sorry for Arsenal, but I think we have to remember is that the money now to buy a club. You know, I said the other day about like all rich people know each other. I was talking about the elite and rich. You're talking about the people worth 10 bill plus. There's not very many of them in the grand scheme of things. Do you get what I mean? They're like they're few and far between. You off, Nick.
Yeah, I'll see you guys later.
See you in a bit. As she goes, I press this button, the background will change. Oh, look at that little highlight rand I saw there. Look at that. See?
You think you're so slick, and look at you. Look at him.
Yesterday, you had to be like moving people around and stuff.
You know what it was? I was putting, so the guy has been making them for us, and we've got all different color schemes coming up. So we're going to have like purple, we're going to have different colors for the different leagues and different look for news and stuff like that. But it doesn't work as well for super chats in this space because we can't push you all up or down. We will change it for that. But yeah, you just need someone very, 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 very rich to buy you in relation to that. But we are going to go back to the other view anyway. I'm going to change that background back to this one and then move you guys. We can't move back. What we're going to do, we're going to add in to sit with us. Who's going to sit with us for the rest of the show to get the shape back? I'm going to add in man like Rack to sit on the panel. I'm going to upgrade you from being a
Lamin in. Oh yeah, I want to see Lamin speak, bro.
We're going to go to Lamin. I want to see what Lamin says about Mount.
Lamin is there. Lamin, what you saying?
Terry, man, it's always disappointing to lose a final. Can't lie. I was looking forward to this game, but I thought. Hello?
Yeah, we're listening.
We can hear you.
Oh shit! I thought I went off.
You're on big screen, baby. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I thought the lineup was like wrong from the start. Like I don't understand why Alonso started, but we lost. We move in it, so like I'm more looking forward to the Champions League final. Right now, I'm hoping that this game we have to bounce back now. So there's no way around it. And facing City, I'm like more confident. I'll take that back. I think I have trust in my team that we're gonna bounce back. One thing I don't agree with is like people going in on Werner, and I've been a critic of Werner. I like Werner as a winger. I just don't like him as a striker, and I definitely wouldn't sell him. I think people are just being too reactionary right now, saying that they would sell him. I think he's been good to the team. Like all things considered, even though he missed a lot of chances.
Let me ask you a question. Would you sell Werner if it meant landing Harry Kane or Haaland?
Oh, come on. Don't do that to me now. Don't
say it.
It's an easy answer. It's an easy answer.
Because that's who you're linked with. And I get, like, Tammy or Giroud, they're leaving anyway. They're not going to be the difference. It could just be a case of, because although you've got lots of money, you do still need to balance the books to a certain degree. So if it meant Werner leaving, meant Kane or Haaland came in, there's no way you'd stick with Werner.
See, the thing with Werner, I believe he's going to come through. The reason why is that because he works so hard, and I know, like, obviously he's rushing a lot of his chances. But give him the
please, I beg you.
I say give him this season, and then from next year, if we see the same thing, like obviously sell him. But going back to your question, would I sell him for Harry Kane or Haaland? The answer is yes, but only because it's those two. If that was the only option, obviously. But if we had the chance to keep him, I'll definitely keep him for one more year.
No, can I be honest?
The point, one sec, quickly, David, because I just wanted to quickly respond to something Lamin said. every mistake that every football fan makes, in my opinion, is when someone asks you your opinion of a striker or an attacker, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is that he works so hard, you're already working backwards. You're already cracking. Because no, the reason.
We've said it
I've literally said I have no doubts. No one can dispute the fact that Werner has added a bit of a positive impact because he's got double-digit goals and assists, so he's obviously doing something right. However, for what we bought him for, he is not doing enough, and that's the problem. Today's game was literally about individual brilliance taking us over the line, even if our team was a little bit poor, because I still don't believe Leicester were that great. But our team, no one stood up, and that is the point. Werner was the guy to stand
Daniel,
up.
I would agree with you, yeah. But how many times do we see like players come to the Premier League and then they struggle in their first season? The only player I've seen just smash it out the park here is Bruno Fernandes. Like, we need to keep the same energy. I think we need to give Werner the first season, and then obviously, like, I think it's been an okay season. It could be better. You can't take away the double digits in goals and assists. Yeah, I actually believe that he will come through next year, and if he doesn't, I'll come back here and I'll say, you know what, he's not good enough to sell him. I think on the wing, yeah, he's good because he's like, he can create goals, he can create chances, yeah. But Werner and someone like Kane or Haaland, yeah, I think that would basically complete the puzzle. Like, I just don't like him as a number 9. That whenever I see him as a number 9, because his hold-up play is not great, and like he's not really tall enough or strong enough. Like, he's not like an Aguero who can like just finish his dinner.
I do hear you there. Listen, bro, thank you for calling into the show and having your say. I know you had to wait a while, mate. Top man. Where are you, by the way? Is that behind you?
He's at the park, innit?
Oh, sorry.
What is that behind you?
Oh no, I got my gym in it. So after that, I just need.
Man need to release the energy.
Release, man. I needed that still.
Man normally comes on here in white turtlenecks and he's got a gym in his house. How rich are you, brother?
Not even, man. Not even. You know, lockdown, man. You gotta make some investment.
That's some of them children playground things, isn't
it? Primary school.
Man's benching 10 kilos. All right, mate. Listen, I'll speak to you later on, brother. Take care.
Take care, man.
Top man. Rack's here with us as well, by the way. Rack, give us your thoughts on the game, bro. I did have to mute you because you always have earbuds in and they always give me feedback. What do you want to say, bro? Have you not? Oh, that's rare, but you have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Hey, look, Tom stole my thunder a little bit, man, but it was so good to see fans back in the stadium. Like, it just gave a whole different edge to the atmosphere. And, you know, even at the end when they were doing their interviews and stuff, and the players were saying to the interviewers they couldn't hear them speak because the fans were cheering so loud. It was just really heartwarming because apart from anything, it's not just outside of football, but it's hopefully a start to recovery from this whole COVID thing, you know, that's been with us for a while. So, number one, as a neutral, that was a big thing for me. Don't get me wrong, I was gassed when Leicester won, but then at the same time I came on and then like all my Chelsea friends, David and Daniel and Anita and Jem, you know, they're all sad, man. And it's obviously
you're too nice to these brothers.
Your friends sad, man.
Now
they're smiling. Now.
Listen, you're too nice to these brothers, man. The ones that deserve it are David, Jem. Them man deserve it, bruv. You know what I'm saying? And Ches. But guess what? Ches is never here because he's a wimp and that. You know what I'm saying? But them man deserve it. Daniel, I get it. Daniel, I feel for Daniel. I feel for Anita. It's okay. But the rest of them man there, they deserve all the pain that they get, man. Bare annoying.
Again, but it's such a really
before. Thank you, Albie, for becoming a member of the Football Terrace. We love to see it. Rack, do you think this will affect Chelsea in the Champions League final? That is the big question.
You know what would be crazy, right? Is if they drop out of the top 4 and they obviously don't win the Champions League final, and that would be a.
We're not doing that, by the way.
Let's not
doing that. Yeah, let's not.
Don't put that energy, Rack. Don't put that energy out there.
We're winning on Tuesday, and that's it. I don't even care about the Champions League final anymore now. It's just about securing that top 4 by all means.
Daniel,
please.
Daniel, do you know how
if we lose to Leicester, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, wait, you know what's mad, yeah? You know what's mad, yeah? Bad Chelsea fans, yeah, we're going at Man United for losing to Liverpool. How could you do this? Match fixing,
Because we knew this. We knew it.
But you said you knew. But you guys forget, you had your job to do. You man had a job to do, and you man bottled it. You guys bottled it against Arsenal, bruv. So don't come at over club for the reasons why you didn't make top 4. You only you, man.
No, I agree. If we don't make top 4, it'll be on us because we can still make it. We can still make it from here. So it's again, this loss doesn't really pain me. Like I know it's the FA Cup final, you want to win silverware, but it's like ever since I've been watching the FA Cup, it hasn't been as important. So I don't have that like.
Yeah, that's because you was born 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it does. That's because you're.
Sorry, everyone. What I would say is this: because you're in the top 4 race, and more importantly, you're in a Champions League final. I don't think the pain is as deep today. If you weren't in that Champions League final, I think the reactions from Chelsea fans would be a lot more. I'm going to use the word aggressive and angry. Is because you've still got something to work towards. The issue is if you were to miss out on top 4 and you lost that final, I do kind of get where Prime's coming from. Some people would start to go at Tuchel.
No, people don't want Tuchel in anyway. Ever since Lampard's been sacked, the next person who's following that already has an impossible task. Already,
and that's why now that Champions League game becomes almost a must-win game for us. And do you know what? I'm even going to stick out my neck and say this here. I'm even going to say Chelsea are in a better position when their fans shut up and also were underrated and not expected to do something. Because at the end of the day, look, the FA Cup, everyone said we were going to win. Everyone wrote off Leicester and said we should get it comfortably done.
Leicester judge
to look forward and all of that kind of stuff. I'm happy now because my phone's been going off, like a lot of people are depressed. I'm getting a mix of messages, some abuse and some like great comments that people bantering, and it's all part and parcel of it. Like now, let's just let the Chelsea fans, we can relax a bit. I can guarantee you now, leading up to that Champions League final game, everyone's going to be saying we're going to lose. We have no chance. There's no. I'm telling you,
that's what we need.
People already thought you were going to lose.
Also, comments. I've just remembered why David ain't upset. His actual team won their FA Cup. You know what I mean? His actual team won their National Cup. That's why he's not upset.
It was a good game. It was a good game.
You know what's really interesting though? I said this in the sort of build up, the preview the other day. Like this was another final where I think the winning team were actually overlooked too much in the build up. And I like Daniel. I'm not calling Daniel out specifically. I get why he was confident. Sort of, I said yesterday I thought it'd be a tight game, an edgy game, but I felt like there was an element of complacency going into this game from Chelsea. And I always feel that. You know, we know fans know what happens on socials. We know this from an abuse point of view because it's being spoken about. I also think the praise gets into that dressing room as well. And I just felt like in these last 2 matches, both against Arsenal and Leicester, there was this feeling of it's going to be a walk in the park. In recent weeks, we've beaten better teams. But these 2 defeats could end up being that kick up the backside that are needed now. And this is where Tuchel needs to get into those players and make them realize that it isn't a foregone conclusion, especially when you're not scoring goals. If Chelsea go 1-0 up, I'm confident they're winning a game. It's when they go that 1 goal down. Now, I know you turned it around against Manchester City, but Man City...
That's the 1 time out of 4. That's 1 out of 4 times that's happened.
Newcastle balled out against City yesterday. City haven't been playing properly in the league, in my opinion, for a month since they knew they were going to win it, and that needs to be taken into consideration. We're going to add some more callers in now. Matty is here. Matty's a Chelsea fan. What are you saying?
What's up, Terry? You all right, boys? You okay?
Yeah, all good, mate. What's in your mind?
First, do you know what? I was going to come up on here and I was going to literally scold VAR today. I was really going to come at VAR today. But do you know what? After looking back on the incident and everything else, you know, I was going to scold them for the Chilwell goal. But to be honest with you, let's be honest, right? We should have been relying on that goal in the first place. I mean, let's face it, we should have really tried to command that game. And to be honest with you, we were playing Jorginho. I mean, after the game he played against Arsenal, he should have been in the blooming reserves and then into the under-23s to go off and improve himself. I mean, Werner, we're relying on Werner again. Quite frankly, I heard the talk about who would we pick. In my opinion, I'd have picked Giroud over Werner because let's face it, he's won cups finals before. So I'd have gone for Giroud over Werner. But I mean, usually I've praised Thomas Tuchel, but I mean, Thomas Tuchel's got to take some flack for this. I mean, what was it? 65th minute, 75th minute, he decides to do substitutes. I think time management needs to be part of his improvement for next season, as well as seeing who he can improve. And if we're going to go into the game like this, playing like this against the likes of Man City in the European Champions League, we're going to be in trouble, you know, and especially in any league games coming up, we're going to be in trouble. So, you know, you've got to, you know, old Chelsea fans, they've just got to take, you know, we've got to take it. You know, Leicester played well. That was a good goal. You couldn't have put two goalkeepers in that goal to try and save that. That was incredible. If you're going to lose a game, you lose it like that. I mean, that was incredible. So,
from the way he lined it up, yeah, and from the way he had that space, he was going forward. From the way he lined it up, you just knew that's going top bins, and that technique, that technique for that shot. I don't think we haven't spoke about it. You know, we haven't spoken about Leicester that much at all. Actually, which we should do. The technique for that shot was absolutely amazing. Though his body shape, the way he struck it. There's only one place it was heading, and not many players can do that at that stage in a final. And you got to big up Tielemans because that's not the first time he's done that for Leicester. He did that against us in the quarterfinals as well, having that time in space. He hit the shot and it goes in. Tielemans is a player that has got a lot of potential, and they're looking to keep him. They're looking to sign him on. Leicester are looking to grow and go places, and now they are bigger than Spurs. They are bigger than Spurs, so why don't they get the same kind of recognition? They've got Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, like.
No, do you know what? They do deserve credit, and of course they don't get discussed as much by anybody.
Can I have one more as well, Terry? Sorry.
Go on, mate. Go on.
Go. Sorry. I also thought that we didn't actually have good preparation towards the game, and in my opinion, I think everybody played poorly apart from Reece James. I think Reece James closed Vardy down incredibly well. I think he was the only one that turned up today, in my opinion. I think Reece James was one of the best Chelsea players on the pitch today. Sorry to interrupt. But.
No, that's fine, man. Now, Reece James was good. Just on Leicester, I get where you're coming from 100%, KJ. I think he deserves so much more credit. Leicester in general needs so much more credit and attention than they get. But it goes back to what it's fan base size. Like the reason we predominantly spoke Chelsea tonight is because most of the fans and the viewers want to talk about Chelsea. If we sat here speaking about Leicester for an hour, everyone would bugger off. And I think that's the thing. It's about them. But the media could do more. The pundits could do more. And they deserve their flowers because they've become, in the last 5-6 years, one of the biggest and most exciting and good teams. On Brendan Rodgers, like I've said, I won't ever call him a bottle job again now. Not only did he win the FA Cup, he beat a superior team in doing it, which is the opposite to being a bottle job, because they could have got beaten 3-0 today and no one would have batted an eyelid. But they didn't. They stopped Chelsea. They nullified Chelsea. They weren't scintillating going forward, but they did enough. And that goal, actually, although it was a screamer, that was in a period of the game where they were the better team,
dominating. Absolutely dominating. Yeah.
They just couldn't quite. The final ball just wasn't quite good enough. And on the point about Tielemans' strike, as soon as he hit it, it was one of those shots you knew within a second. I was in here and I was already celebrating, because for me, when it comes to FA Cup, I always celebrate good moments. I love the competition. It's dear to my heart as a football fan. Not quite as good as Jesse Lingard's winning goal, but it was very, very good indeed. Now, Lingard's, I was actually watching that game back the other day. I forgot how good Lingard's like half volley or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was sick. It was sick.
Quality of opponent.
But that's no. On a real level, the strike wasn't better, but I would put Tielemans' goal above it. It won it in normal time. And it was against Chelsea. We did it against Palace. We did
have 10 men. We did have 10 men.
I would put the moment, the occasion, underdog factor in, and I would put Tielemans above it. And why I was so happy for Yuri Tielemans today is because I always speak about status and that football players care about. I'm not saying on the world scale. This isn't like scoring a goal like that in a World Cup final or a Champions League final. But from a UK perspective, that goal will be like Petrescu's.
That's history. That's history now.
Yeah.
History. He has given. You know, I say status.
I'm going to see that goal for 30
that is
years.
Stand out. And in terms of his affinity with Leicester fans, in 30, 50, 60 years, if he turns up at Leicester in 60 years' time and walks into a restaurant, he eats for free. And that, for me, if I'm a football player, along with the millions and the trophies, that's what I would want to. I would want to achieve with one club at least, the ability to walk into any restaurant, any pub in that town or that city and eat and drink for free based on what I did. And where I grew up in the East End, I don't remember the guy's name. There's a goalkeeper, played for Walthamstow, and he saved the penalty in a massive FA Cup game in like the 30s. And until the day he died, the man dined out and ate out for free in that little town. I remember just thinking, imagine you do something so potent for your local town that you're treated like a king forever. That for me is
Jamie Vardy's got that. Jamie Vardy
again,
he's the king of Leicester.
There is one. If there's one team,
sorry, David. Let me address this. I know it's Juju, but Juju is also real Gregory. That's why it's Judge, because I don't mess with Juju. Juju is no.
If there's one team I actually don't mind losing to, it's Leicester, simply because of all the stories that go on for them. Like, I can't be happy, but I am happy for them.
No,
like,
that I get what you're saying, because when the dust settles as well, just 2 points I want to make quickly. When the dust settles as well, like, and the banter of the Chelsea fans slowly stops, I mean, we can start talking about how Jamie Vardy has a Premier League and the FA Cup, and Harry Kane still don't have no trophy. Leicester have got a Premier League and FA Cup, and Arsenal or Tottenham are still floundering. So, like, there's that, but above everything else, if this is even the last comment I make, I miss Drogba and Costa, man.
Big game players. You know them players that just had composure in the big moments. When
just know that
they are 25 yards out, but they go, "This is a penalty for me.
Yeah,
this is a penalty for me," and they just hit it and it goes in. We
are just missing that. It's almost as if you needed individual brilliance today.
It's always as if when you have a midfielder with a bit of composure who doesn't just kick the ball as hard as he wants because he's been.
I do hear that.
Listen, you know something as well. I think as well, we were talking about Timo Werner. I think if it was a choice of Werner and Haaland, I'm telling you now, we've got to make that transaction. I think we need to really think about whether or not we need a clinical striker, because I think let's put it this way: as much as Tuchel's time management of substitutions has been off, he's actually been pretty competent in the tactical front. We just need somebody that's clinical, that can score goals, who's confident up front. And let's face it, Giroud is nearly retiring, and then you've got Tammy that's actually being phased out of the squad. We need somebody like Haaland that will, that's young and upcoming, that's clinical. I don't know whether or not he'll go to us at the moment, but who knows? If we win the Champions League, we could be a high prospect for him. But I think as far as the conversation that you had, we need to look at trying to get rid of, Timo if we had the opportunity of Haaland coming up, or God forbid, Kane.
I absolutely hear you on that, Matty. Listen, everyone that has tuned in today, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Please hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe to the Football Terrace and turn on the bell notifications. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. Congratulations to Chelsea, to Leicester City. Well-deserved win in the FA Cup. Tielemans, what